and welcome to the Marty and Tavi show, where we're having candy conversation celebrating Black women. And I'm going to go ahead and give you to Marty and let Marty greet you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
All right, so the title tonight is, well, we had originally said the silence on Black violence, and as well as because of the school season. What is it? Uh, I don't have my notes here. I get it. Sorry. Um, Something about taking our communities back by us for us. I think that was what you titled it, Marty.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember that? What was your idea behind that part?
Well, I mean, we're sitting around allowing our community to deteriorate. We're dropping our children off to the schools. That's not preparing them for a brighter tomorrow. Teachers don't have the backing, and we're just waiting on us to make the change that's necessary.
We waiting on us. So
to make the necessary change.
If we're waiting on us, that means that we're in power and that we have the power to do whatever it is that we need to do.
Exactly.
And we're not doing it?
Obviously not. Nope.
That sounds simple enough.
It really is. But it goes with being conscious. Not only do you have to want it, you got to be conscious and intentional about it. So
conscious and intentional about it. So how do you want something that you may not even know exists?
And that's what I was going to elaborate on a little bit, because I realized my students had no idea what I was saying, when I was empowering them on a daily basis. I was the laughing stock of the school because I kept saying their lives matter. Black lives matter. I think it was, to them, it was a cliche, and they so used to, I guess, growing up not understanding that it matters. When they heard it, it was like, whatever. But I'm
was it the people in their lives telling them to disregard it? You got to also understand that kids are very impressionable, and especially, older kids. So if someone that they model that may have been your age at the time was denouncing it, why would they, pick it up? So we can't always just blame it on the young people for the ideology and the way that they receive things, because they receive it based off the role models in their life. And if they're exposed to it to be able to appreciate it, then most of the time they do appreciate it. We got a lot of work to do, because there's a twofold thing that needs to happen. Like I said, I still continue to call on our generation. It's time for the baby boomers to take a break. And our generation is going to have to lead that younger generation. And it's work, because first of all, we got to unify us. And then second of all, we got to build trust amongst them, real relationships that they can trust and want to follow and want to listen to us. And so that's a lot of work.
Right.
So I'm thinking, you said it's in our hands and we have the power. We sure do, but we don't have the collaboration, which is the unity. And we continue. That comes up every show.
Well, because they did a whammy on us as far as the division goes, because it looks different, but it's the same need of white supremacy. We say respect yourself. I don't want to be around you, ghetto. We throw out different derogatory terms, which basically is a form of division. Okay. So, for instance, the whole bonnet crap. Okay. had social media trembling. White supremacy was happy because you got one group don't like it, the other group don't give a fuck how you feel because I'm gonna wear it anyway. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't nothing but a tactic. Okay, division amongst us. So it
Wait a
just
minute,
looks.
hold on. I've never really gotten into the bonnet debate, and I know. I mean,
But hold on, it
why
don't have to
is
be.
it even a debate?
No, it don't even have. I just threw that out there. It don't have to be bonnet. It could be something simple as somebody committed a crime. You know, half of us want to say you got what you deserve. Others saying let the motherfucker sit on the stand and have an attorney say guilt or innocence. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we do something, it's like the whole race, whole people is held accountable or judged or whatever the case be. I don't know what's go through our mind,
So
but
you're saying that if something happens bad amongst us, we're quickly to judge and crucify
yeah. Mm-hmm.
instead of even trying to understand and stuff. We see other ethnicities when things like that happens, and within
Exactly.
yeah. But why? Why are we? Because that's 400 plus years. It goes back. It's all conditioning.
Exactly. Yep. It's conditioned. It's conditioned. Because they understand better than we do our power if we unify. Oh, they get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the inscription on the screen says 2021 is on pace to be the most violent year for the US in 2 decades. So we know that violence is clear every day in what they call the inner cities, which are made up of
Exactly.
Black
Exactly. So I'm
Americans.
not moved with their they must be talking about it's creeping into their communities.
No, it's really doubling in ours. If you look at the homicide rates, um,
Mm-hmm.
whereas they were like 27 for the year, they're already at that number, so it's going to be way higher because things really pick up towards the end of the year during the holiday season. For whatever reason, the violence happens. It's like a pattern of something. And that's just me studying the different models and numbers and stuff behind gun violence. You
Okay.
know, but you know, overall, I've seen a couple different things of solutions to help with gun violence in our communities. There's some very well-known organizations that do things. Mom Demand Action for their policies. They're in our communities, and then we have a lot of grassroots organizations, people that I guess arrive with you know, hearts for whatever reason, because maybe they lost a loved one or just because they're passionate in it and want to see it stop. Because people always say we don't talk about it. And, like I said, the title is Silence on Gun Violence, but I don't think people really realize how much you have to talk about it. You kind of forced not to not talk about it because it's always happening
Right.
as it relates to gun violence. And, so it's always happening and it's always hurting at the same time. So here we are today, have a grieving community, but that community grieves quite often with gun violence as well.
Right.
And you know, um, so solutions: do the community heal it? Do the police heal it?
No.
Is it a way that everybody can heal it? How do you heal it? Because I think that's everyone's thing of how do you heal it? Like, why is our kids killing each other? They'll say, oh, it's gangs or it's drugs, but it's got to be deeper than that.
It's walking through these trauma filled schools and they there for a long time.
Trauma filled.
Schools.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because
Hmm.
I say starting at the door. The first person you greeted is law enforcement. Then you walking through metal detectors. Then they have the wand. and that's just traumatic.
Do you think that's, like I said, my kids never had to experience that, but they've always went to integrated schools, um, or whatever you want to call them, schools with white children included. So I don't know if that was the issue, but I want to say that past the metal detectors, what else is it that's got the gun violence, so rampant in the community where it's a forever cycle and it seems to be something that can't stop, you know? Um, is it because of the mixing of all the different people coming from different areas of the community coming into that building? Because I do believe school is the source, but
School is very much the source,
that's
and
freezing the pipeline. So,
exactly. So it's doing what it's supposed to do because
but don't schools suppose, because we fought for school. So you're telling me these public schools that they pour all this money into every year is
for
actually
white people to
making
be the
them
middle class,
worse?
for white people to be the middle class. That's all. I mean, because if that's not the case, well, let's justify what's going on in our community. Nobody's fighting for the healing of our children's minds. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these babies see what's going on. They see how a mass shooter who's white is treated versus them who is innocent. They see that. And it just might mess with your psyche. You know what I'm saying? Might make you want to go ballistic. Why wouldn't it? Here it is. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And then you realize for this country, it's still not enough. I ain't got nothing to live for now. And these babies aren't slow and they have access, even if it's just on the phone. They have access to information. And then you sit around here treating them like they convicts and they haven't did anything but take the shit that America have wielded them. And I mean with the ink pen. That's the only thing they've done. They haven't did anything. You gave me poverty. I managed to raise my children into that. You put me in dilapidated building homes. I raised my children in that. I'm knowing they inhaling toxic crap. I did that. I said go out and be respectful. I did that. Damn, I gotta walk to schools and be treated like this. I can see how you know sooner or later it was bound to happen. You know, but
Yeah.
for us as the adults, I guess I
You
don't
just
know.
describe environment and PTSD from it.
Yeah, which is amazing. That's why I give no shits about no scholar and their research ever again. Your research ain't shit. You ain't no scholar. You know what I'm saying? How long you been researching and collecting data on East St. Louis? Give me a break. It's all a joke. And these are kids' lives. These are people lives. You know? So I don't know.
You no longer believe in research.
What's the point? I mean, this shit been going on for
I
how long?
mean, different methods.
No, we're done. No. You can Google
I mean,
what area.
what as you decrease the disparity, then you pretty much the problem won't be there. It's a matter of the disparities being addressed, and it's a lot of them.
Taffy, everybody know that. I'm not on any of that
And
no more.
I know that they know that, but you just said the power is in the people. So if everybody know that, then if the people got the power, then why we ain't using the antidote?
I have no idea. I can't say why.
But you can say for sure that's it.
Yep. Just because that's how I feel. They don't make it valid. It's just how I feel.
Well, that's because you living and breathing it, and that's how you feel.
Yeah, yeah, I see it up close and personal. So,
Yeah, I got a whiff of it, and it's draining for sure.
but I'm not tilting nothing to the right or left. I'm saying this is what it is. And then, when you become this parent and trying to be upstanding and do the right thing, and you see how shit really is, it's like this is just a vicious place. This is just a vicious place.
But can the people find a happy place? And the
We ain't gonna
people,
talk.
it's got to be more people like you than people like what you don't agree with. I
I'm
say it's
sure
more.
I'm sure there is. It's just a
I'm
matter.
sure it's more people that are wanting and needing, well, hoping that things will happen. But again, people hope because they're expected leaders and different ones. They expect them to
Have
wave the
disappointed
magic
some.
wand. Well, they expect for them to wave some wand for it to do something that it don't really do. It's an accountability piece that people miss, that they supposed
Hmm.
to be there addressing things. So having a strong power group of people using their power does that, and so
Tabby, only it seems like only in this country are we waiting for partisan votes of doing right, being just, and being good.
when have we ever gotten change if it had not been for policy? That's the only way it seemed to work. Now if it's another
This is
way,
what
I'm
I
all
want.
for it.
I want us to do like President Obama. You can touch this shit. It ain't nothing but paper. We don't need these same antiquated, racist, old white people making the same laws. They just look different. It's the same thing. So those policies mean nothing. This country has never been legal. The laws, there are no laws. It's just nigga, you know your place. Period. Now that we see this country for what it is, when we gonna rise up? Because we ain't
Who is
nothing.
we that see? I don't think everybody see like we.
Now the ones that's living comfortably, who think they somehow exempt, they the ones don't see. But yet and still see, and because ain't nobody stupid. They just choose not to, because closer to whiteness is, better. So
Is it whiteness or is it they just cushion with the money that allows them to live just as comfortable as whiteness? Because you're never really white. I don't care how Oprah Winfrey ain't
no, I
even
said
what.
close to whiteness. I ain't say
Right,
them
but
being white.
I don't think it's, and that's just me touching the tip and seeing the mountaintop of what the blacks that live comfortable feel like, and the feeling that I've gotten from it is not a sense of being close to whiteness for most of the blacks that's in that white world. It's
Mm-hmm.
more just the comfort of all the luxuries and all the comfort of whiteness, because you do
And they
get to
still not
take.
comfortable. And they still not comfortable.
Right, but they more comfortable than the others. They the house, y'all the field, and
I
so
agree.
I don't think it's nothing about the majority of blacks. I do believe that are in those white atmospheres are not in it because of the whiteness, but because of the comforts of whiteness.
Oh, okay.
That we all say is the American dream. See, remember, we're trained to chase the American dream. What is it?
Well,
Be a
white.
homeowner. No, think about it. Have this family, be married with children, be a homeowner, have a job that has a great retirement, and you can, have investments and 401ks and, you know, great benefits, be able to go to the social affairs, you know, uh, American dream, be educated, all of that. That's what we chase. And we get there. Then what? We look back and see how many others that didn't get there, or do we just enjoy the ones who got there with us that happen to not look like us?
That part.
So is it really their fault that they did the work to get there and others didn't get there? What are they supposed to be doing while they're there?
Uh,
Have you thought about that?
I find it offensive when you say did the work. as though
Oh yeah, they do work to get. If you in a white space, you had to show a great temperament control. You had to do a lot of
lose
things
all
to be
yourself,
in
huh?
that white. Not lose yourself, but
Yes, lose
contain.
yourself. Yep,
No,
lose yourself.
no, contain yourself. I don't think you lose yourself. I think they know how to contain themselves. I think they go home and be whoever they are for real. But it's a shame that you can't
Why you just
be
might
who
be you
you
for
are.
real?
Why? Because in most white spaces, especially when you're not used to, because think about it, for the majority, a lot of like HBCU enrollment is up, right?
Yes.
So they're gonna be amongst all those great black people, right?
Yep.
And that's what they're gonna be used to competing against, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they're gonna leave and go to the white institutions that is not gonna be the same, and then they're gonna realize, like, okay, all right, so now I'm in this white world. I just left black world to train for white world. So they're training in black world in them HBCUs. Then they graduate and go into them white worlds. And then I feel like they don't know how to be themselves. They're too busy trying to be and blend in the world that they have accepted to be their world now. And, that's kind of hard to take all of what everybody in that uppity world can't understand, because most of them ain't cultural relatives. Like, they don't
Right.
understand culture, so you can't bring your culture with you. At least not most of them are bold enough to do it. They gonna act like they act on them HBCU campuses.
Show ain't. Of which, but you know something? This generation is different. This
Yeah, I like
generation,
them. I like them.
this generation is different. Now, I personally think that when they go across the stage and leave HBCUs, they're gonna go back home.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
honestly believe that because this generation is different, and they not too keen on going back in white world because white world done showed them how they really feel. From Colin Kaepernick, he didn't do nothing wrong. He just knelt. Isn't that his constitutional right? But white said no. NCAA, you done made all this money off us. And now all we had to do is just say we ain't gonna take it no more, and the money come to us. Oh, y'all been doing this how long? We want no parts of that. So all this stuff that's unfolding, they said they didn't want critical race theory being taught while it's being taught. Because this generation saw President Obama for 8 years and then seen this fool these last four. Oh yeah, they coming back home.
You
Yeah.
need to leave my boy alone. You already know he'll be back, right? Because Biden
Fuck,
messing up.
fuck Trump. Shit.
You call
And
him
I'm
45
I'm up
anytime.
in
Quit.
here.
Don't have the after rhythm coming to this show because you said F Trump.
Fuck him. That motherfucker got my Twitter account banned for life. Fuck him. Taking my intellectual property.
Well, you ain't gonna join his
Anywho,
lawsuit. He doing a class action lawsuit against Twitter and Facebook
do you think this
because he
motherfucker
got banned for life too.
he
He got
is
banned for something.
he is not paying the people whose money he stole.
Oh,
No, I'm
okay.
good on that food. Mhm.
Anyway, you just welcome him back in what 2024? 2020, when he coming back? 2023? If they don't figure out some
If you
law
think
or
all
check.
these kids at HBCUs that's got HBCUs boomers finna let that shit happen, you done lost your mind. They mama, grandmama, and now them gonna be them, them with a D. Black college professors got their ear, heart, and everything. Yeah, they finna wake them up, baby. Watch me.
Well, I hope that happens, but there's a
Now,
lot of
it's
people
going to.
pretty sure, that Afghanistan thing didn't end right with Biden, and that's on his record. Um, and
Yeah,
some other hits.
Biden the biggest
And what's
racist
up?
there
He need
is.
well, he
Biden's a
he need to
racist.
go ahead and do that student loan debt because he promised that. So he need to get
He
that
promised a
done.
lie. They're all liars, I'm realizing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm glad you know that.
shut up.
You know, but honestly, to be an effective liar, because I done ran into some dumb liars, but to be them kind of liars where they actually convince you, that takes some skill.
Skills,
That
baby.
takes some people that's on their feet and that got some bad able to switch and just make it make sense because that's the only way you can keep it going and have people
Right.
believe it if it makes sense. So politicians, and then they smile. Because I remember it was a certain politician, I won't name their name, but every time I see them, they always had a smile on their face. You could be talking about them
Must
like
be
the
part. Hi there,
you,
Bear. That's there though. Boy, bye.
but
You on fire, Apple?
I can
Oh,
remember. I don't care what you were said about him. He would just
none.
keep smiling.
Smart.
Smiling will not let you break him. And sometimes that's just how you have to be when you're in the public light. And so I can respect people for that way too. And I had to tell him one time, I was just like, wow, I really I idolize you. Like you always smiling. Like, is that real?
Girl, no,
You
it ain't
talking
real.
about?
He smile so much he don't know what real is. I hope he watching too. Matter of fact, I'm put on his face. I'm talking about you, bro. I'm real.
No, but no. So yeah, politicians is one thing, but we can use them effectively if we did some work with them. And
Yeah,
that's a lot of what's missing is us knowing our power to know that okay, it goes beyond just getting them elected,
right.
make them do the people will, but they can't do the people will if the people is not willing it. And if
Or don't
business
know the
owners.
will. Wait a
Well, they
minute.
don't know, and that's the whole thing. That's the biggest thing is teaching the people how to use the process of things because
Right.
people ain't stupid. They lack being able to know the process of how to get things done that they're seeking to get done. So
Hmm.
you know, hold on, let me make sure we can get no extra guests. Um, and so you know, and if we could just get people, but most of the time the people that come in and know the process, which is called facilitators and organizers, and that's
Hmm.
and that's kind of what I do. That's my profession and what I've been doing for free, but I'm not doing completely for free anymore. I need to make money on it now. But that's how they get people round up, collaborated, friend, some kind of relationship. But they're outside and they don't know the community like that, and so they'll say, "Oh, we're coming in to help," but you round up an artificial bunch of people and say, "Look, we did the community, and it was really just a click, and you ain't
Right.
get nothing done." And that's
Exactly.
what I've been saying. That's why I don't belong to no clique. I don't want to be no clique. I want to be in all cliques. If I could be, let me be the extension of all clique. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I see click right there, but I'm gonna lock arms with you. Click, click, click. Um, Otherwise, what we want to get done as a community won't happen because we're not unifying. We're just doing some kind of cosmetic thing to, say it's done. And
And
so,
that's not enough.
so one of the models, one of the models that uh, I see when we talk about community is ceasefire.
Uh-huh.
Ceasefire works. That's for the community by the community, and um, it's called Cure Violence Model now. I did a lot of studying up on that, and that's what we need. But I don't see them paying. I've been on two different police collaborations in both cities, so where I've kind of had oversight over the police. Okay, and so seeing that from that top aspect and saying like, okay, if the police I mean, I think I lost my thought moving this baby around. 1 minute, I was saying something. So basically, having that insight, understanding the police, understanding. I don't even know what I was going to drive. I'm sorry, I lost my thought.
Collaboration.
Oh, okay. So the collaboration of the police. Okay, so the collaboration. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. So, um, the cure violence model would be the best model to use, but I don't see them employing the real people, like the people who have made mistakes and know the people, have the relationships, able to deter the violence from happening, ain't afraid to be on the streets after midnight, that type of stuff. Those people are the catalyst to helping in a lot of this stuff, because some of this stuff that happen that we wake up to can be prevented overnight if we had the right people. And it's not going to be police. That's what they always say. Oh, police, if you see something, say something, calling to the public. But yeah, just like y'all are paid to come and see something and say something, you're going to have to employ community members to be able to be there to assist in some way. I mean, not become the police per se, but be able to deter violence, be able to have some resources in place at nighttime to talk some people down, because a lot of times people react and they be angry and regret things later.
Right.
And so all it takes is, being able to deter, that from happening and calm people down. But if it's nobody out there to be the mediator, the stuff is happening. And if we got a lot of kids out here doing stuff, same thing. Who couldn't really talk, especially black women, who couldn't really talk to these young boys? I mean, a lot of them, they respect women more than the men.
Let me tell you something you already know. They're not willing to listen to black women because you're trying to save black men and black girls. And you coming up with solutions that work, that is progressive. Well, that stops the whole free labor market, right?
Free labor?
Yeah. You lock them up, So to give us the funding, because while you was talking and you highlighted or spoke on Mom Demand Action, how long have that organization been around? Now we know they have husbands who have, stock in Steel Western. They probably have businesses where they're selling guns. They ain't trying to really mess with nothing, because if they wanted, that group wanted it to be eradicated like they say they do, it'd been done. Don't they get what they want all the time? 99.9% they do. So
well, I know they're a very powerful group. I haven't did a whole lot of research on them. I just know like I said, I know the groups from both cities now, and I just realized I just seen a lot of stuff in Savannah that's duplicated. Well, I can't say duplicated from one city to the other, but it's the same, and I'm just like, it's not working. I was with a whole group of people talking the same thing that you're talking, 850 miles away. Like, but you got the same organizations in place, and I'm like, this is a model. A model that don't work, duplicated across the country.
If they wanted it to work, it's too much money. It's too much money in the Second Amendment that's circulating amongst white folk. Girl, they ain't finna mess that up at all. Remember, they gatekeepers. They're not trying to mess that up. Even at the expense of their kids. So
yeah.
Yep.
Well, oh wow.
Now black woman get in there, everybody safe. Shit. But it's gonna be just like anything. When the black woman is in the movement, in the head of the movement, her family first. That's why she joined. That's why she said, I'm gonna look at white supremacy in the eye. So of course, when ours reap, theirs gonna reap too. They don't think like
so that. Ours can't reap. Well, that's like inflation then. That means we're not getting anything. So that's inflation.
They don't they don't consider us.
But we're studying saying we're pushing for equality. How can we equalize something if is that gaslighting?
Well, yeah.
Bye. Mm-hmm.
They not trying to
Yeah.
hear no equality. They all that stuff is just cute sayings. They not serious about it. Because if they were, it'd have been done. So yes, ma'am.
Mm. I just, I,
That's why I don't go for that whole individual, it's just one person and whatever. That one person is a part of that system, is not gonna let that system go. So they're all the same until something different happens for our families and our grandchildren. Until then,
and then we are always like, I had to tell my little brother tonight, he had posted. I say, maybe I just need to get my vision too big. I said, maybe you need to turn your vision into some phases and not try to
mm,
do it all at once.
right.
And I guess he liked it or whatever. He put a heart on it. But that that's the issue is we how did they do it back then? I would look at history because you can learn a lot from history. If we keep it intact, hopefully they don't change it and then our kids, are brainwashed and don't have real history.
Right.
You know, um but looking at history and understanding that they had movements when we were even more oppressed than this, how they do it and we can't.
They weren't educated. They had knowledge. No, they had knowledge. We educate. I'm
You gonna
serious.
blame it on education. So our higher learning has
Got us detached
dumbed us
from home.
down.
Yes. Dumbed
I,
us down. Dumbed
no,
us down
it
to the
may
what?
it has
Go ahead.
you're right. It did detach us. That's the disconnection that I've been identifying in.
Right.
So, and
That's why I said they
education,
had knowledge.
but
They
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 trained
knew.
us to go into the white people. I mean, the higher education is the key to getting into white world and enjoying all them luxuries of American dream.
Well, I don't know if they and I don't know if they did that, but yeah.
No, seriously, that's the key to the American dream is education, right? As it relates to black people.
I think they honestly wanted us to find out how to get funding. I don't think they really wanted us to go to schools because they knew what they built.
Stop.
They knew what they built and they knew what they had, right? So I
Right.
don't think they was pushing us to that. I think they didn't know how all of this stuff worked themselves. You know what I'm saying? Uh, mm.
Well, I don't know what they did, but you know what? What I
They
know
effed us up.
I know that we can do better. Whatever, regardless of what they did, I think we can do better, and we're
By
gonna do
choice.
better. Huh?
I said by choice. You're right.
Yeah. So, um, what was I gonna say? Um, I talked about. Oh, I know what I'm gonna say, and then so like I said, most people get involved with gun violence. A lot of times because they experience gun violence. I've been very passionate about it without having any personal experiences. Although, I had a personal experience. November of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's really become dear to me. And just understanding when the word "stolen" is put
Uh-huh.
out there to really feel the stolen part. Like, you know, losing my son in law,
Mm-hmm.
man, I don't know what it feels like to lose a child that I birthed, but that was my child. That was my son.
Right.
And I'm telling you, that pain was just it's still, thinking about looking at his kids and just like, wow, I ain't gonna talk to you no more. I ain't gonna hear your goofy laugh no more. like just stolen like nothing, no warning. And
Right.
so I can imagine communities study being affected by that. So that was just one experience for me. But I know others have multiple experiences or just living in communities with those experiences. And that's traumatizing in itself. And, you know, we got to figure out some way to effectively stop it. But I think the way is already identified. It's just a matter of routing the resources to get it done,
Well,
because
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I'm just saying because the community is truly the answer, and I just don't understand how scholars and all the other important people that make
They
these
ain't important.
decisions don't understand that you fix the communities with the community. You
It's
don't
money.
have people on the outside trying to fix what's in the inside. It just
They
don't
they
work.
they not trying to fix nothing. It's too lucrative. It's money. And we have gotten so close to white people where we don't even seemingly honor humanity anymore. Empathy. We don't have that no more amongst us. Um they may say toxic or kids didn't have an option or choice, but our elders basically demanded you honored people, you respected, you know what I'm saying? So now in this free generation, they don't have it. And they look more and more and sound more and more like they white than ever before. And if we don't want to be honest with, that was our culture because our ancestors knew we had to do things differently in this country. You know, going back to what you were saying about the whole gun violence, as a teacher, and I'm going to talk about me personally because I am so attached to my students and my community with every gun violence. Somebody in my building is attached to. And I have to look at my children every day because they ain't going to come in and say, oh, Miss Curtin, I'm my big brother. You know what I'm saying? I got to feel, was that somebody in your family today? Not saying it, but just thinking it because this is the same community. You know what I'm saying? So teachers are very traumatized and tired because not only are we burying our students, we have to console them because their loved ones are leaving them. And then try to teach them too. They ain't worrying about what you saying. They ain't trying to learn that crap. They might be want to go out and get even. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to step in. Is it worth it? Your mama gonna hurt, da 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 da, whatever. So, you know, we all know that they bring that stuff in our community. I mean, it's a poor community. Clearly, mom and daddy not growing it in the backyard, but to I don't know. It's it's
And this
it's new.
We only got about 16 minutes left, and I'm going to kind of shift it to
Okay,
something that probably would take the whole hour for really thoroughly discuss it. But
sure.
in my spirit, and it's always been in my spirit, I still feel that the powerhouses to our community and the solutions to what we need to be rerouted through the churches and the sororities and fraternities because
Hmm.
they indeed are connected to a lot of the community members through some kind of relationship already. So imagine rerouting those resources for them to be able to push it in the community like they need to because they could get down there on the grassroots level as well with the grassroots and really do some work,
Uh-huh.
and I wouldn't consider them all like outside groups sort of, because a lot of them are from the community and have relatives still in the community, stuff like that. And I just think that we haven't even tried to collaborate that. I think that they hold a key piece in what it is that we need and a need to collaborate them in some kind of way around these kind of issues. You'll see on the TV. I know you told me a couple months ago. I think you've seen some pastors had a line to do some things or vow to do some things, um, and maybe that might have been like a certain bunch, but it might not been all that's needed. But I think they need to start really building a for real clergy alliance to really help with gun violence. I don't know. I just think they can help in some kind of way.
They can do whatever they like.
So you saying
I
they
mean,
need to will it? They like
right.
yeah.
Like
Well,
how much tithe and offering did you collect? Did you finna put it in the bank? No. They can do
I
whatever they
mean,
like.
it's so many churches and hoods like, and I'm only familiar with two hoods for real, and that's East St. Louis and Savannah. But um, if we want to call them hoods, but I'm familiar with that, and I don't know. I I feel like it's nothing but churches in those two communities that I'm thinking of,
Uh-huh.
and they own almost every corner. And I'm just like, man, if they really truly adopted it and meant it, and adopted it for
Right.
whatever needed, and really truly tried to heal each block by block, because I don't think we can really write a formula or a plan for everything because every need is different. But if we
Right.
really like when you cleaning out a wound, you're not gonna get some of the infection, not all of it.
Uh-huh.
If you're cleaning out a computer from viruses, you're not gonna get a couple viruses and not all of them and say it's fixed. And so block by block is the answer for real. But I really ain't seen nobody really trying to take it block by block and heal it, because
We need
I think that would be sustainability.
right.
So and just I don't know. It's so much work to do because this is 400 years of this just kind of there, just trickle on down. And I'm learning about something called epigenetic. I think it's called epigenetics, where whatever happened to your ancestors, people of your past,
In the
that can,
bloodline.
yeah, it can come back. Like depression can be passed, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? And I'm thinking about, oh, Jesus, what? But then also, we ain't all black either. We've
Well,
been
you
mixed with them. You with
but
the
but
So
in
what
America,
what is on our white gene? Because I don't see mo. They got the. I was going somewhere with this, and then I'll let you finish. But I'm just thinking about, if that be the case, it's one thing what comes from our black side. It's another thing that what comes from the white side that's mixed up in us too, in our genes, because a lot of us, slave masters rape the women. So
right.
that's why we're lighter. Because when I went to Savannah, I couldn't believe how dark people were, because I wasn't used to us being that dark up here. And so,
Uh-huh.
you know, all that to say, what has been passed on to blacks in America from both sides like that,
That's true.
thinking on that, and understanding the conditions now and saying it's that part of the reason. So I don't know. Maybe our boys have in them where their forefathers were revolutionaries, the white side coming out and they just want to use these guns and shoot. I don't know. I don't know if it's already imprinted for real. But
We
whatever
had,
it is.
something, but Tabby, these guns aren't new. They're new.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not new.
What's new is we moved away. What's new is they're not being taught because we had teachers teaching us. Okay? So without being taught, going to school, wasting your time, and then in a community where businesses are walk in them, you already get that you are nothing and no one. What else do I have? I have nothing. I mean, because if they went to school and were, educated in what could be, what they could accomplish, and all of that, we'll see something different. We would see something different, and America knows that.
So I ain't trying to evoke anything different. Well, like I
Not at
said, on your post the other day, a whole lot of white people will be unemployed if Black America was really fixed.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because Black America keep a lot of white people and middle class with all of the different social services and everything else that is geared towards to help us, which is non-economic liberalism, of course.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, but there's also, and I'm looking at Cahokia Heights coming up in the newspaper a lot too,
Yeah.
and so what I see happening, which is funny because they're starting with the sewer issues. East St. Louis, how many years ago they were fighting about the sewers and the issues, and now, but this started as Centerville, but when they changed it to Cahokia Heights, now it had made national news as Cahokia Heights. And I'm just looking
Yeah.
at all the play about and play around with stuff, and I'm just like, wow, same formula, just different players.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
yo, it's gonna happen. Just like now, the citizens rising up. Now
Yep.
we want more. And the politicians gonna lie and say whatever they're gonna say, I'm sure, and not do anything. And conditions are gonna get worse. People are going to continue to migrate there. Businesses are going to eventually lose. So like I said, they've been slated to take that Walmart from out there. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens. Because once that Walmart go, you probably more than
That's
likely
it.
White Castles is going to go, and everything else around it more than likely. And then they're going to see exactly what y'all saying. Because I heard that East St. Louis had a very heavy population in 1985, and I can kind of remember that as a child. It used to
It
be the big
was.
thing to walk downtown East St. Louis. It was
Yep.
still, yeah. And
Jack in
so,
the Box. It was thriving. It was kicking. Anything you needed was right here.
yeah. And so to see it go is, what a lot of those communities about to see now. So, um, but they don't have to if the communities will come together and mean it. And
Right.
they got a pretty strong citizen group in Centerville with a pro bono lawyer group as well that is helping them. So we know I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy seeing the people rise up and hopefully some things get delivered for them. But you
Right.
know, they collaborated to be a city, so they're now a city with the population with all of them collaborated. But they
Uh-huh.
applied for some of that CARES money, like East St. Louis, they got denied. So they were planning on fixing their sewers with that, but they didn't get it.
Wow.
So yeah, so we got about 7 minutes. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about?
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. Well then, so I guess we want to talk about some current affairs. All right. So I know that Simone Biles is enjoying herself, and they're getting ready to do the Gold Over Gold tour or something like that here in St. Louis. You
Yep.
know the exact name?
Uh no.
Is it Gold? I think it's the tour. I know it's Gold Over Gold. I think it's Gold Over Gold tour, but
Is it the
whatever.
goal within?
No, it's
Huh?
something that I don't know. I thought it was Gold Over Gold tour or Go Over the Dome tour or something like that. Some anyway, but
Um,
she posted a picture recently of her, I guess on a beach in like a little coconut kind of little thing. I guess she's sitting swing a little swing and just
mhm.
saying that she was enjoying herself and
Listen,
she like it in that place, just letting us know she relaxing. So
listen.
I'm thinking that her and that team are gonna come and just really, really tear up some things and just really clown and have fun. Because
I'm looking forward to her speaking into our girl's life. That's all I want. I want her
oh,
to.
you want to get a chance for you want your girls to meet her.
No, I ain't saying meet her, but I just talk to the girls. You know what I'm saying? Have a message
Oh,
for them
have
because
a
it says on the commercial. It says Simone Biles coming and something about the goal within all of us. So when
mm-hmm,
they said that, I'm sorry. So when they said that, I could just imagine her because I know when Gabby Douglas came,
mm-hmm,
the girls and I we went. and she
Mm-hmm.
really talked about how she wished she had known her. You live this life of, just loving people, pleasing
Mm-hmm.
people, and all this. And she didn't know where all this hatred came from,
Mm-hmm.
because she got in there and started dominating this white girl sport, gymnastics. And she talked really good. She talked about her depression and everything, because she wasn't liked and she didn't understand why, you know. So I think Simone is going to have one of those testimonies too.
Well, I hope so, and I hope they start using gymnastics as some kind of form of therapy for kids with ADHD. With her being with her being in the position she's in, and her having ADHD. I hope they take that and make that something, because kids can really do something with energy, and
Well, I
that's
like
a
the fact that
very
she was successful because she wasn't in school.
and
But
I saved this last topic before the last few minutes, so it can't, um latest thing, the governor of Texas came out making accusations that black people are the cause of spreading COVID.
uh,
So it's been pushed on black people, you know.
now it's the dumb people like him and his kind, not us.
But why was he so comfortable to say it is kind of my thing of like, okay, who else is saying it? Why they saying it? So I'm like, release those COVID numbers, but in the article that talked about it and dismissed what he said, they were talking about that there is a lot of black people that's unvaccinated, but they're not the
Right.
ones filling their hospitals.
Exactly.
And then this is what I said to the article. This was my words. 400 years inferior status. What did I say? 400 years inferior status. I said something else too. And no genocide. So I know they wasn't vaccinating us. so
For real.
think about it. You know how many pandemics they've had?
Right. He might study them. Uh, Trump's 2019. My old boy started that. Show me your papers. Proof. 2019. Trump did it. He started it, and they just finishing it. They think he gonna get in 2024. Girl, listen. Right to my last breath, I'm gonna make sure he goes to jail. He's got to go.
Now, look,
What?
I miss my little ding from the White House come in. You just don't understand. Like, I used to sit and watch C-SPAN for fun. When Trump got in office, I didn't need to watch C-SPAN no more. Like, it was always some action happening.
Because he's stupid.
Currently.
Girl, good night.
But guess what? But
What?
your boy ain't too much better. Come on now.
Heck no. He just like a
What did we fix? What did we fix?
nothing. Nothing.
So basically, that proves that it's the same bird, different wings. That's all
right.
it proves. So anyway, guys, we thank you for joining us tonight. This has been the Marty and Tavi show. I'm going to try to start ending this, right at time so I can keep it. But you have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.